I was born ready, Adam.
I was born ready too.
What is up? What is up? Welcome everyone to the All Circles podcast. This once again is your hostess with the mostest, Tai. And again, I only say that because I'm dark chocolate like a hostess cake. And I would like to introduce you all to our to our man, Jan the Apex.
What up, my dude?
Resident business dude. And then we got over here, we have Mr. Adam Robb.
Hey, damn.
We still have to get you like...
Mr. Adam Robb is my dad.
That's your dad.
Oh, yeah. You a junior?
No.
He just always wanted to say that.
My dad's name is a true story. Robert Robb.
Robert Robb.
Nice.
That's his name.
Bob Robb.
Bob Robb.
Actually, Robbins.
I can't wait to meet your dad. But so also real quick before we get started, when are we ever gonna get Adam one of those like DJ announcement things that they do? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah,
For like
we
like a
need
DJ Khaled sort of shit, like
Hey, Rob.
like
or something like
hey
that.
Rob, you know what I'm saying? Or something like that. I feel like it'd be cool.
Yeah, I think we do need one of those.
Oh, for sure. But so today we have my guest here, which is actually a dear friend of mine. His name is Elijah. So if you want to do a quick introduction of yourself, tell us what it is that you do, and introduce us to your people on your sides over here.
I'm Elijah. I do drywall finishing for a living.
Word.
It's nothing too special for me.
A humble man. And who is this right here? This lovely lady?
This is my lovely girlfriend, Kyla.
Hi.
That's nice to meet you, Kyla.
Nice to meet you.
Anybody over here?
This is my muscle truck.
Nice to meet you, sir. Nice to meet you.
Big boy.
Yes, he is. That is what you call a thick himbo right over there.
What's your name, Muscle Truck?
Chuck.
Chuck?
Yes,
Chuck.
sir.
All right, bet. It's crazy. Like I love using that word. Like thick has just been something that is just.
You're just incorporating into things?
Oh hell yeah! Because I saw a post earlier on Facebook that was talking about thickens. You know what I'm saying? Like plus size witches. You know thickens. So so it's just like damn.
Spelled with 2 C's.
Exactly. I feel like I feel like we've all dated one of those in our lives. You know.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
You know, at least 1 or 2 thickens. So
Instead of like asking to keep rocks in your house, are they asking you to keep boulders?
I would hope
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Like shit. There got to be 2 something to do something. You know. So I'm just
It's like the SpongeBob. That wasn't a boulder. It's a rock. Boulders used to ride these babies for miles. How did we get here?
I'm sorry. Anyway, so the reason I asked my buddy to be on here tonight is because I think not only as a person, but just as like one of those individuals who I've managed to spend enough time with to get a good a good read on them. I feel like he is a good example of people who, you know what I'm saying, as people who are young or like around the age of like 20, like 19, 20, like even 18. This is around the time where a lot of us are confused and don't know what we want to do moving forward, like with our lives in general. Because like you just graduated or you're still in school, and it's just like, where do you go next? I think that even though a lot of people are kind of deterred by the idea of it because it's hard work or whatever, I think it's a great example of what you can do whenever you actually just apply yourself to something and really kind of like find that motivation to be, I don't know, like just a what kind of individual would you describe that as? Like a just like a.
I mean, you're entrepreneurial, right? You're industrious, or you're just willing to put in work. So like
Yeah,
with drywall
industrious
finishing. So like for people that are like listening, you said drywall finisher, right? Like I used to work in contracting and stuff and like flipping apartments and everything. So I kind of get a little bit of the process. I'll just ask you a couple of questions so that we can explain to the listeners what drywall finishing is, right? So when in the process do you come in and start doing your work, and like what is a drywall finisher?
It happens halfway through the process, like it's the exact half. Usually they rush drywall finishing and the texturing and the sanding because then they get another loan from the bank in order to finish out the build.
Yeah.
So this is like during the process of a house that's being built, and like you are doing the walls and the ceiling of the inside of the interior of the house.
It really doesn't even need to be a house. I mean, it could be anything. Like drywall is everywhere. Everywhere. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's commercial, it's residential, it's patch and repair. You can honestly find work anywhere.
Oh. So like, what if I could ask, like, what is like a roundabout like wage that like a drywall finisher for like a yearly wage? Would you think? You know what I'm saying? Like, what would they be pulling in?
That entirely depends on how fast you can move through a house. Like, I make 18 to 20 cents a square foot. It doesn't sound like much, but once you start adding it up to like 11,700 square foot, I'm pulling in at least $1,000 to myself, not including the texture and the sand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And usually we can go through it in like a week as long as the whole process stays solid, everything dries like it should.
Now, so how would one go about getting drywall work? Like, if I could ask you, how did you find yourself in this line of work?
I honestly just got the card from a friend. I had no fucking experience whatsoever. I bullshitted my way in. Like,
Hey, sometimes you just gotta do stuff.
yeah, I told him
I
I
didn't-
had experience. I didn't. Sent me in balls deep like as soon as I got there.
Just kind of dropped you off, and you're like, okay, and here's some mud. Go for it.
It was a real sink or swim situation.
It was, man. I swam like a motherfucker.
And how long have you been doing it?
Roundabouts 2 years now.
Awesome.
And he does an amazing job, by the way.
That's all. So, like, what, like you said, halfway through the build of a house and how fast you can get done depends on how much you get paid, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's like per job payout then, and not like per hour or anything like that. So like the more efficient and the quicker and the more accurate you can do a job, then the quicker you can get paid on a project, the quicker you can start the next project, the more money
Pretty
you can
much.
make.
Sometimes we'll
Okay.
have 2 or 3 jobs going at the same time just to make shit quicker.
Is that because like you can finish one or start one while it's drying, go start the next one, while it's drying, go start the next one,
Yes,
and then
sir.
kind of circle back around? That's smart. That makes a lot of sense.
it's really efficient.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that you could, if you triple stack jobs in a day, you're saying, 11,700 square foot job, you're pulling in a band, So I want people to think about that. If you are 18, 19 years old right now and you're thinking, well, people are telling me I want to go to college. I don't know if I want to go to college. I don't know if I have the money for college, or I'm looking at a degree and I'm just not passionate about something. Like I went to nursing school, right? So I went to college,
Right.
And I'm saying
Your mom goes to college.
You know who else goes to
and I'm
college?
saying
My
like
dad.
if you don't want to go into like the medical field or something that like blatantly requires school, take a look at something like that, because he's talking about 3 jobs back to back every day, pulling in $1,000 per job in some sense like that. You're looking at a healthy amount per month that
For
you
real.
can bring home.
Real.
And
And
that's enough to save and have a vehicle, house.
Oh yeah, I would say like within at least a significant amount, like say like 6 months to a year, you'd have enough to either buy a car, buy yourself a place, stuff like that. Especially whenever you're at an age where most likely your parents are like, hey, it's time for you to actually figure your shit out, And that's where it comes into like, even if you don't want to, so because you didn't go to trade school for this, like you said, you had no experience, so this was just something that you kind of fell into. My thing is, I think that's why trade schools, especially like around some of the ones I've seen in Ohio specifically, those are great opportunities, and they offer those to you guys like right as you were either graduating or as soon as you get out. Like those things can really end up helping you guys out whenever it comes to getting a job that's going to last forever, like being a plumber, being an electrician, drywall, landscaping. Like those are what I would call like jobs that are always going to be around, because it's just like what else are you going to do whenever like your water stops working or like your water heater stops working? If you don't want to call someone, wouldn't it be more efficient to learn how to do that shit yourself?
Exactly.
So when it comes to drywall specifically, do you ever find yourself in a situation where it's like you're at a friend's place or like a buddy's house and it's like, hey bud, I can fix that for you? You know what I mean? Like,
all the fucking time.
so
Probably a good like amount of side hustle could potentially come from.
That's what
just
I'm
like yeah, I'll do it for like $40 a 6-pack.
like, just give me some money, you know what I mean?
Jobs here and there.
Yeah, that's just useful. Yeah,
It
it's
is.
super useful.
I think so. Especially when it comes down to just like, finding stuff that to do, you know what I'm saying? Because I think it's a pretty decent thing to learn, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and if you find something that like, I don't know. So I got a question with having drywall, right, as like something that you do for work. What are some hobbies like outside of work that you enjoy doing?
Whenever I've actually got the energy to do something,
Because I'm sure that's hard ass
Yeah.
labor. Drywall is hard ass work.
it is, man. It'll whoop your ass after so
yeah,
much.
no joke.
But I usually just go camping and shit like that. I don't
Yeah,
like
get out in the
trash to
woods.
bone.
Yeah.
Useful.
For sure. Camped with this guy once, and it was actually a pretty unique experience. It was
Yeah.
pretty dope.
I love that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
man. There's nothing like that hill.
There is nothing like that hill, man. I'll tell you what.
Well, and the reason I ask is because I know a lot of people that'll do the things that are like the trades for work, right? And then they come home, and a lot of them are like working on their own vehicles, or they're like tinkering with a 4-wheeler, or like building some random thing. It's because you when you are a builder, or you are interested in that type of work, it kind of carries over. And like you were saying, the more stuff like that you can learn, the more self-efficient you can be. Shit, dude, the amount of people that I know when I was in college that got murdered, raked over the coals by mechanics.
Yep. Yep.
Is obscene. Like you could like there were people that you could probably look at them and be like, yeah, your flux capacitor is going bad and your headlight needs some fluid. And they'd be like, oh, $60, that's a steal. You know?
Yep. That's what I'm saying. I feel like if you are the individual who has the ability to at least, because like all it takes is just a mild interest. You know what I'm saying? If you can figure that shit out, like I personally, like that would be so valuable to me as a person who knows next to nothing about cars. I know it's gonna happen to me someday, but you know what would help is if I had a buddy who was just able to be real with me because he knows exactly this is what he does and he's got like project cars and stuff. That's who I would ask, especially on stuff like that. And I also have a couple other buddies who started out just doing landscaping with their parents, like say just doing their own yard. And then they got into the landscaping job. And like after like, years of just throwing mulch and shit, they just started their own company. Now they do it.
You just got to invest in a mower.
You know what I'm saying? Like now that you've got the trade skill, like it's yours. You know what I'm saying? You could turn experience into power that way. Because you could take that skill, even if you don't have that job anymore, and apply it somewhere else at some point in life. Because now you have a value that you can apply to somewhere where it's going to be needed at some point, which will always be an eventuality.
Oh yeah, you could totally like on a resume, you could have completed over 2.5 million square foot of drywall. You know what I mean? That is so much better than I have a piece of paper that says that
like I textured a
church
drywall. I textured an entire church ceiling. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you can like having that shit just under your belt. It really does.
Did you actually do that? Is that a thing?
I've done a lot of cathedral ceilings, not like actual cathedrals, but
trippy.
where the ceiling comes up to a peak.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
I can only imagine.
I can only imagine. I'm good on that.
Walking stilts that high, it'll test how much balls you really have.
Stilts?
Yeah, he has to be on stilts up that high. Like ain't nobody like carrying him or nothing. He's not climbing a ladder. It's stilts that are all the way up to the ceiling.
Nah, fam. Nah, I'm good. You see, like this, so this plays into my whole, like, I have two different types of fear of heights, right? Yeah. Like, I don't have a fear of heights of, like, I was in the Air Force, right? So planes, like, if the plane goes down, all right, I'm gone. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good.
You have no
There's
choice
no,
in
yeah,
that,
there's no chance. I'm done.
It's like, well, damn.
Whatever. So I've skydived and shit like that because I'm like, if the parachute doesn't open, I won't remember anything. I'll just be like,
that was the last thing I ever did.
Right. But if I'm up on stilts and I'm high enough that I could probably survive a fall, my brain is like, no. Trippy, because I'm like, I'm not getting paralyzed. Like, I'm waking up a vegetable or something like that.
Oh, dude, when he showed me
happening.
a picture one time of like him balancing those stilts on just two pieces of plywood that were like fucking intersected. Like, and the stilts are about like that thick and the plywood's like that. And he just balanced on two of them up really fucking. I'm like, bro, and it's just a straight drop.
Yeah, whatever you make is not enough. Call your boss tomorrow and ask for a raise.
I'll make hazard pay if it's past 19 feet.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense.
Well, there you go.
Okay. At least that's a thing.
Well, there's that.
Right? Like, hey, we'll pay you a couple extra dollars an hour for this sketchy ass shit.
Yeah. Just remember, if you fall,
Where's OSHA?
you're not insured.
There's one of them. OSHA don't exist where I come from.
You see that? Them are stairs, bro.
Nah, fam.
That would be quite the tumble.
I'm good on that. What's your take on all of this? I know you mentioned earlier you're like he's really damn good at his job and stuff like that. So what's I don't know. Jump in. Say what's up. Say something.
Say something, right? Yeah. As long as he comes back home alive, I'm okay.
That's a good point.
That's dope.
Especially since he does such a great job, in my opinion. Like, going into this field with barely any experience and then coming out looking like a professional. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I feel that. So, like, another question would be, like, is it ever, like, one of them situations to where you feel like you might ever have to lead him to, like, hey, there's a friend over here whose wall just fucking, like, caved in. Like, my dude just put a hole in his wall. Like, can you come patch this for me?
It's actually my wall, actually.
See, that's what I'm saying. You provide the value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then when you think about it, see, what I was telling Jan about earlier with this idea is just like, now, just if you want to expand past that, now this is thinking like way further ahead, like past their 20s and shit like that. Like, say you're about to retire, you could get let's say you get like a real estate license or whatever like that, right? Or you have to like get a license to sell houses, right? A real estate.
Yeah.
So say you do that
legally.
legally, right? So you do that, and then you decide
Not
to,
advocating for illegal sale of homes.
then you start like, you know what I'm saying, flipping houses and stuff like that. You, with your ability to do drywall immediately, just having that experience and just the ability to repair anything that might be damaged in a home that you own or a home that you might be selling, is already one of those things that could yield amazing extra results if you were to become a landlord in the future, a super, some shit like that. That's why it's valuable to either know how to be an electrician or a plumber or whatever, and to just do it for a while. Even if you don't end up having it as a career, having that experience will definitely help you out.
Yeah, exactly.
In like so many other avenues.
My boss and I built the house that
That's
he's
a
currently
mega
living
good point.
in like 2 years.
So, I'm sorry.
Perfect
Your
result.
boss.
My boss and I built the house that he's currently living in.
Really?
Yeah,
Damn.
did it in 2 years.
How many square
baller.
footage?
It's not a large house. It's like a little farmhouse.
Oh, okay.
Heck yeah.
How long have you been
Beautiful,
working? Have you been with this company for the past 2 years? The guy
Yeah.
so this is the guy you started with.
Yep. My
Does-
first legal job.
Did he ever figure out that you didn't have any experience after?
Yeah, I had to come out of the gate with that as soon as they handed me some shit that I didn't recognize. Because my first day was texturing a bunch of units.
Oh,
And
damn.
I'd
Like,
never
they
seen
really
a
threw you
fucking
in deep.
stomper
Yeah, they
before.
really threw you in deep right off the bat.
So they're just like, here, take this brush.
They're like, here, man, you're supposed to hit the ceiling with this. And it's like, what the fuck even is this?
Oh man.
Oh, my God.
I mean, you were already in there too deep at that point. He was just probably just like,
Right.
all right, fuck it.
Yeah.
Just like, fuck
You
you,
gotta
you
learn on
gotta
the
do what you
job.
gotta do.
That's like dude, when I so when I was
Gotta
in
see what
college,
they're
part of the way that I paid for my what was that?
What?
What?
That was me.
Oh,
I was like, I just scratched my head. I was like, did you hear that?
part of how I put myself through school was I flipped apartments for the apartment complex that I lived in. So this is a really I haven't thought about this in a minute, but this is a really dope thing that you can do if you have a skill, right? That you can trade. So I lived in this apartment complex and I worked as a landscaper for them at the time, and I was just doing strictly like mulch work basically. Which seems to be where everybody starts because that's the same example that you use.
Yeah, it's really basic. It's very easy to get into.
And
Very.
so I started noticing that like the maintenance guys were really falling behind. So I was like, let me learn how to be a maintenance guy. And I was like, I'll be 24-hour on call. You know, I grew up on a farm. I know how to do basic stuff. Like I know my way around some tools. Like just show me the way you do things, and I can help with that.
Right.
So I let them put me on call for maintenance after 7 p.m. as long as I didn't have a test the next day. And I negotiated. They normally paid their maintenance people $18.50 an hour, right? And I was like, pay me $15, but then for every hour that I work, match me 50 cents on the dollar and take it off my rent. And they were like, bet that works. So I lived rent free for 2 years.
Yep.
While making dough. And learned how to put sinks in and did basic electrical work and like redid tile and put in like shower inserts and redid vanities and all of that type of stuff and basically live for free because I was willing to jump in and learn. I didn't know shit. Like on the I kind of had a general idea of like, you know, my way around a tool set and how to like do basic barn repair.
Right.
Like,
Right.
because I grew up on a farm, but I was like, yeah, I'm willing to learn. Like, just show me how to do it. And then after 3 months of showing me how to do it, they let me be on call, and I was able to negotiate with them because at that point I had like, you know,
Skill.
yeah, made myself valuable to them.
It's a great example of what you can do with this kind of knowledge.
Yeah,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, bartering is baller. Uncle Sam can't touch bartering.
For sure.
You know?
For sure. It's the best form of commerce. It's the best form of communication, if you ask me.
Find someone you can shake hands with.
Yeah,
Good to go.
I had a similar situation happen to me last year, or no, not last year, the year before last. Actually, it was in 2020.
Hopefully, no like accountants like listen to this. I'm just like,
This
all right,
isn't
hold on. What are the statute of limitations? It's like 7 years in the past.
This isn't this is not an accounting podcast, so don't listen to anything
good.
we're saying.
Yeah, don't be a narc.
Wink, wink, nod, nod.
But I worked at Cedar Point in the summer of 2020, and that was the year that I was doing hotel work. I was just basically was like a hotel dude. I was like
You were a
making beds.
hotel dude.
Well, making beds, you know what I'm saying, doing laundry, stuff
Oh,
like that.
gotcha.
Like
A
it was
maid?
like basically, right? But there's not a dude, there's not a male version
Dude
of the word
maid?
maid.
Yeah.
Because it's not a butler, it's just a fucking, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
I picture you with a little towel.
you know what I mean?
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? I was cleaning
Yeah,
bathrooms.
British accent.
Type shit. So,
you like some tea?
but it was since it was Cedar Point, it was a big ass hotel and there was a lot of rooms to do and stuff like that. Eventually, and this is just because I don't know why, but I just felt it like I needed to complain about it. I said that they weren't paying me enough, which was $20 an hour, by the way. They totally were. I was just being a bitch. I was like, it's like, you're not paying me enough to clean up puke from all these rich families that I don't even have the displeasure of getting to know. And they're like, okay, so what do you want to do then? And I was just like, well, what do you need done? So they put me on maintenance. And I'm not qualified for maintenance. I don't have any HVAC experience. I don't have any experience in the stuff that they would require the maintenance people to fix. So just like you and homeboy, I had to learn like on the fly. I had to take apart like a vacuum cleaner just so I could figure out how to fix it in the first place. By manual, of course, because it was just like they called me to a room for like just random stuff. It went from plunging toilets to, nah, my refrigerator's broken. Can you please come up here and see what's up with it?
God
So
damn.
So you just gotta troubleshoot, yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. All that equated to was me
stare
like,
at it and you'll be like-
unplugging it and plugging it back in. Like, try it now. I was like, all right, cool.
It's like tech support.
Have you turned it off?
Turn it off and turn it back on.
Do you have an update?
Yeah, the camera wasn't connected to this, and so I just turned it off and on, and I was like,
Now it's
turn it off.
connected.
That's how it works
magic.
sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's magic.
Have you guys watched the IT crowd?
Yeah. I actually
You seen that show?
discovered that on
Say the IT
Netflix.
crowd?
Yeah.
No, I'm
Oh man.
Yeah, me
it's-
neither.
It's the
Yeah.
best.
the it crowd. How old are you, by the way?
I'm 20.
No shit.
20.
Good
Yep.
for you, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Hell
Perfect for the topic.
yeah. Hell
Word,
yeah.
right. That's why I figured he would have like an actual perspective on this, because like
Right.
the
Yeah, this is dope because I was just posting about this on
yeah,
Facebook
'cause
the other day.
This is the audience that I'm trying to reach as of right now, because just like if you guys want just like a general idea of what to do for the future, you know what I'm saying? Because we have a whole lot of shit going on right as of right now with inflation and everything else. These are very, very easy jobs to get into. Very, very easy things
I was
to
gonna say, I
experience.
don't know about easy once you're in there. Like you were saying,
No, when you get in there, it might be hard, but it's like if you need something to get into, like
Right,
getting
if
your
you need
foot in the
something to
door.
get into,
is,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
go somewhere where you're gonna learn a skill that's gonna pay you for life.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
Like,
for
and if
sure.
you can start, even if your end goal is to go to college, right? Because like you're allowed to change and morph over time,
Right.
You know,
You can go to
Holy
college
shit.
at any age.
What a concept. Yeah, I'm gonna be 28 this year, and I'm planning on probably going back to school at some point. I haven't been in school for 5 years.
That's the whole point of me doing
You
this shit to
know,
get
like-
famous. I just want to make enough money to fund the amount of education I would like for myself. Like that's about it.
See, and that's a dope ass
Improve
motivation to
yourself
have.
image.
You know what I'm saying? And then when I'm done with it, I'm done
Motivation
with
to
it.
have.
You know?
Yeah, but then if you like whether it's the I know Drag has programs. Even there's these Canton City Adult Technical Career Training Center or something like that downtown in the old Timken High School. I'm pretty
Yep.
sure is there some locations there. Do you know of any other areas or?
Oh, yeah, there's Buckeye Trade School out there in T County.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And then a lot of jobs that I know of, like your case is a little bit unique, kind of getting in and then just like showing up on the job and getting some stuff moving. A lot of jobs though will be able to put you through purposeful programs, right?
Yes.
Like a purposeful apprenticeships that you can apply for. and
Project
stuff like
Rebuild's
that
a good
as well.
example out here in Canton. It's like
Mhm.
it's a good example. They literally take underprivileged youth or just like kids from any old grade, and they will teach you a skill trade. Basically, whether it's anything from drywall to wiring a light socket, electric. They help build houses all over Canton. It's a wonderful program. If you guys look it up, projectrebuild.com.
I feel like that's one of those, like Dan when he came on the pod. That's Project Rebuild is one of those things that like 4 people have told me that I need to figure out who they are, and I have.
Yeah. You
never
want to try
ran
and get in
into them.
contact with these people because they're really good just about community outreach. You know, what I'm
Okay.
saying? Especially for like the youth.
Shout out Project Rebuild.
Yes, Project Rebuild. And so it's
You are positively mentioned in a lot of conversations that I have. So
Oh yeah, especially
you
around the
guys.
Canton area, which is exactly what you needed, exactly what the
Yeah.
good thing to go for. So big homeboy over here, Mr. Himbo.
What's good?
Thicken.
The muscle.
Can you please?
Is he a thicken?
I think he's a thicken. I think so.
Thank you.
What is it that you do? What do you do for an occupation, if I may ask?
I help out with Dewey Youth in downtown Canton, near there.
Oh, okay. That's
Like a youth
Yeah.
group, yeah.
like a youth
Heck
group
yeah.
leader, like a youth leader.
Yes, sir.
Okay, used to do something similar myself. So
They let you be a youth.
I was just
Hold
about
on.
to ask the same
I
thing.
want to go
right?
down this rabbit hole.
I was also a fireman, dude. Like, literally.
I
did
remember
know
that.
that, right?
Yeah,
That was my
We
first
saw
job
how-
outside of high school.
We saw how you could handle heat on it last week.
Exactly. That's why I was in the ambulance the whole time.
Damn.
Oh yeah, we have talked about you pulling up on crazy ass shit.
Yeah.
That's what I was. Yeah, we were talking about because I was talking about me being in the ER.
Yeah, because we both have, I would say, like you have way more medical experience than I do. Like all of my
Similar
certifications.
amounts of PTSD, probably.
Oh yeah, for sure. But all of my certifications were like for like immediate sort of like You know what I'm saying? Like,
Bro,
the
y'all
media
had to
causes.
listen. This is what. So I used to get into it with. I feel like we're like stealing the pod. This is like, there are. I used to tell paramedics and ER nurses all the time because they would like bicker with each other. Like, my job's harder than your job. Your job. I'm like, why does it fucking matter? Like, people are dying. You know.
Yeah.
Get your shit together. Stop complaining. But I would always look at the paramedics and I'd be like, yo, you have to do what we do without docks and without carts.
Yeah.
Full of supplies. So your job definitely harder. I've never had to pull up to somebody on a highway and like pull them out of a car.
Yep.
You know, by the time you get them to ER, most of the time they already have an IV and you've already started giving meds.
Oh, dude.
Right? So even if they're a shit show by the time they get to ER and we have to stabilize them, you had to scoop them up off the road.
Bro,
So
when I had to learn how to intubate somebody for the first time, I was so freaking scared.
Oh, I
like,
bet.
Like, dude, like for those of you who don't know what that word is, when you intubate somebody, that means that there is something blocking their airway to the degree that you have to actually poke a hole like right around here. So that way they can actually breathe. So that way whatever is this, I can't get it out of their throat. I can't reach into their mouth and get it. So the only thing I can do is put a hole in their throat.
A cricoid.
Yes, I have to poke a hole straight in your throat so that way you can breathe. And you know, as a person who was just trying to like fight fires and shit, like most people don't know that you actually have to have two jobs. You're a qualified EMT when you are a firefighter.
Yes.
You are qualified to do both. You have to train to do both. So like, I mainly was thinking like, oh man, it's gonna be awesome. I'll be on the fire truck, shit like that. Nope,
Right.
I'm pulling up to like, you know, pull things out of people at their houses. You know what I'm saying? Because we get the weirdest calls. And it's just like, dude, your proctologist is never going to believe you didn't do this to yourself. But all right.
Yeah, the x-rays will tell.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I had to just deal with a lot of like, you know, jumping in feet first sort of shit, like, you know, learn on the job type stuff. Because up until that point, it's just training. It's just reading books. Until you experience the shit, it's a completely different thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you can always read about like, okay, this is how I'm supposed to do this. But when the nerves kick in.
Same thing. This is the
like,
same
right
thing with
there.
the trades. You can look at a book. You can like be in a classroom until you're on site and they hand you a tool and you're like,
Oh, shit.
Oh,
It's
damn.
a totally different ballgame.
Yeah, you have no idea until you're actually out there doing stuff. I'm sure like the first time you ever led a youth group, you're like, what is going on?
Yes. Oh
Do you
my
do
God.
high school,
What,
high school or middle school? Or
Yeah, what
both?
kind of youth group? So personally, like, did you like dealing with kids beforehand? Because these are mainly like way older kids. Like I can't like imagine this is way different dealing with toddlers or some shit. So like,
Yeah.
did you ever see yourself talking about like, oh, I'm actually leading teenagers to do whatever the fuck it is that your
Be
youth
an
group is up to?
example.
Not really. It hit me like a few months ago that I was doing it.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing up to this point?
I think about 7 or 8 months now.
7 or 8 months.
Yeah. Yeah. You start to look back and you're like, oh my God, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So like, was it
Like,
something that
go
you
me.
volunteered for, or did you were kind of like put into the position?
Yeah, I volunteered for it. I'm like the pseudo big brother for them, so
Oh,
it's
that's
kind of
dope.
nice.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Heck
That's
yeah.
dope. I imagine that you've made a lot of like, you know, like awesome connections with just like having to help, like getting the opportunity to help them out, like lead by example and such.
Yeah. Not always the best example, but
An example.
Hey.
An example at least.
An example.
How long do you see yourself doing that? Is this something that you'd like to get into, like as far as like just helping out like youth, just in like a youth group sort of situation, like being a youth leader of some kind?
not too much longer. I'm really looking forward to getting into the fermenting business and stuff like that.
The fermenting, what is that exactly?
Alcohol,
Making beer.
Oh, like making beer and
Beers.
shit?
Making-
whiskey.
Oh yeah, he makes really good moonshine.
All right, bet.
Hey,
Listen,
He
don't
just
narc.
doesn't. He just doesn't sell it.
We can cut that.
Gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just does. You just
Yeah.
can't buy none.
Can you give me a donation for this gift?
Can you sponsor my pod?
Seriously though, like, would you?
Seriously,
Yeah, I'd sponsor this podcast.
I will drink.
yeah.
I will drink a glass of it
Hell yeah.
every pod. I swear.
Bet.
Like, can we please? Let me just.
Yeah, halfway through the podcast, I was just slurring.
But,
What's your favorite
that's
thing
some
to brew?
dangerous shit.
My most favorite thing to make is apple pie moonshine.
okay.
Personal experience. It was
So,
the greatest moonshine.
do you see yourself like maybe trying to get into that field when you get later on, like
Yes,
work for a
sir.
brewery?
Yes, sir. I love the art of doing it.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
I've tried to make hard apple cider a few times, and it's very hard to do.
Good strawberry lemonade, though.
It's a very specific process, kind of like alchemy for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very specific process. There's a lot of stuff to do. One of my favorite
Liquid gold.
actors actually owns his own brewery. It's one of the Sprouse twins from Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I believe it's the one who played Cody. He has his own brewer, like his own beer. He made his own beer. Like that was just some shit he got into after he was done being famous. His brother went on that TV show, and then he was just like, "No, I'm gonna just make beer."
You guys know Maynard from Tool?
Yeah, I almost went to his vineyard.
Yeah, I lived out in Arizona for a while, and I got to visit a couple times.
That's
It was
pretty
dope.
fucking dope.
You lived in Arizona too? What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah,
Been all over the place.
I
huh?
lived in Surprise, Arizona. that's the name of the
Mr.
town.
Worldwide.
That's the city.
Surprise, Arizona is the name of
Yeah.
it.
I almost got attacked.
Oh, that's
by
the
a-
actual city?
Yeah, that's the city.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's like an hour west of Phoenix, and
I figured it'd be
everything
an
out
hour
there-
west of, oh shit.
everything out there is just
Surprise,
tries to kill you. There's you have to like go around your house and look for scorpions like every couple months.
2
That's
miles
survival.
west
You
of
gotta-
oh shit is Surprise, and it's right before
Right before motherfucking Arizona. Oh man.
But yeah, I mean, Arizona's fun. It wasn't kind to me because I'm a ginger and I had to carry like SPF 70 with me like everywhere I went
Bro,
just to survive.
that's how I felt in Uganda.
It was.
Oh,
The
Uganda.
sun hates me.
The sun is my friend. For those of you who don't know, black people are also superpowered. We all run on the sun's energy. That's where
Walking solar panels.
exactly. That's why
me right now.
you know, run, jump faster.
If
you
you
know,
hold
Need
a
a
light-
great EMT then.
If you hold a light bulb, can you turn it on?
actually, I'm pretty sure if I like rub my feet on a carpet, I can. Isn't that how that shit works? You just build up enough static.
Yeah.
I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough to turn
You're
on
wearing
a
a
light bulb.
fuzzy ass coat.
Yeah, you
I'm sure that you could
Oh,
be
this
like,
ain't even real fur. Shut up.
Actually, on our rules, we have a podcast rules on there. It says don't get shocked because we used to. I've cleaned it up a little bit. It looks a little messy still, but we used to get shocked like every podcast, like especially like when you're talking, it would like shock your lip, which was crazy.
It's initiation.
I wanted to try and get him.
She is hazing.
I wish we would have caught all that on camera
Intense.
The
because
microphone's like,
I wanted to do like a clip show of just him getting zapped every time he went to do
It was like it was intense. Like you're like, what the like you
like every day. Like
It's
every
weird.
day.
Yeah.
what are some other trade jobs? I'm gonna try to bring it back. We've been on this rabbit hole train for a
You
grip.
started it, bro. That's
Yeah, I know. So, what are some other trade jobs that are like that you have friends that work in or that you're around when you're on job sites? Like, is it just y'all as the drywall finishers, or are there other people on site doing things?
like
at the same time?
electricians or what have you.
It honestly depends on how the process of the build is going.
Okay.
You usually have people coming in doing repairs, fixing stuff up before they actually finish the house. So you can have a variety of people. It's usually siders.
Siders. Okay. So that's another job field. If you guys are like listening and you're trying to figure out things to Google, like being a vinyl cider or being a housing
that shit's
cider,
money.
Or a
That-
commercial
yeah.
roofer.
commercial roofer.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
another good
If you're
one.
good
I
at
had a
house.
couple of friends. who did that.
Ultra Roofing is a company in this area that like I'm friends with the people that own it. They're looking for employees. I'm pretty sure.
Ridiculous pay. Ridiculous pay. It's awesome.
Yeah, and it's hot. You have to be.
It's
You
hot
have
and
to be.
You're on a roof.
If you're listen, if you were an athlete in high school and you don't want to get fat in your mid 20s, be a fucking roofer.
For sure.
Like
For
you
sure.
you will
sweat
like,
it out.
Yeah,
Not to mention,
you'll
if you've
be
ever
good.
wanted to travel, these
or
jobs
just
will
work at a
take you out
trade
of
in
town.
general. Be a drywaller. That shit's hard ass work. Like be in good shape and make good dough.
And you get to travel, by the way. Most of these jobs will take you out to different cities, different fucking areas around. You know what I mean? I got a couple buddies who were doing roofing and would have to go out to jobs that were like a whole other state away. So if you've ever even wanted to just get out of your town, you know what I'm saying? Like just get one of these types of trade jobs that require you to actually like go fill this service in other areas, because then you get to actually see the world. So now you're satisfying two things that you may not even know you wanted to fucking do for real. You know what I mean?
Right, and like things for hurricane relief and shit like that.
Yep,
You
yep.
Can,
Oh, really? I didn't think about that.
yeah.
Yeah, that would make
'Cause you
sense.
can make hazard pay off of those too.
Like where at down? So that would be like Florida right now and stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, Nicasso's going out to Florida. He's going to go help with that.
Did you say Costco?
No, Nicasso.
Nicasso.
Yeah, the rapper that we had on one of the Mondays
I
ago.
was like, why do I care about Costco?
What the hell is Costco going to do in Florida?
They're bringing paper towels.
It's like personally, I'm a Sam's Club kind of dude.
They're bringing
so-
free samples.
bringing free samples. Would you like some juice? It's all organic.
They're like, one sample per person, please.
Smacking hands. Like,
Like-
no.
You've been here already.
Bad.
You've been here already. I used to get told that in Sam's Club all the time. I'm like, can I have another mini weenie?
Oh, no.
No.
Pause.
Oh man.
I walked
So
right into that
Ty, last week we did the
Yeah.
the hot chip. Was it the one chip challenge?
Yeah, the one chip
chip
challenge,
challenge.
bro.
How did that work?
Listen,
How,
man.
how was the recovery on
How
that?
did you feel 8 hours after that?
So let me break this down for you. Let me break this down for you real quick.
Ow.
So as you as you've seen, fucking
I had that on deck.
as you saw last week, I decided that I was going to do something for the gram. I decided
Stupid. You're going to do something stupid.
very stupid. I was going to do something for clout, and I just want you all to know that now I have a massive hemorrhoid that is literally killing me right now.
Oh no.
No.
So with that being said, I do believe there's no reason they ever should have made that goddamn chip. Like,
Honestly.
listen,
This should
man.
not be possible.
Imagine if like the devil stuck his dick in your mouth, and then was just,
What?
and then it was just like.
Essentially.
Consensual. No,
Unconsensual.
well, yeah, you did.
That was
you did,
unconsensual
you did
because
put that in your mouth consensually. Though.
I did. I willingly did it, but here's the thing. I
regret it.
I was misled to believe that I could. Exactly. Listen, I said no in the middle of it. I just want you to know that means no.
But by that point,
So I
that
was
point
like,
too late.
so like, just like Tyler said, it absorbs all the moisture in your mouth, and the capsaicin, which with most people, if most people don't know this, but it's actually the fucking main ingredient in pepper spray, capsaicin, right? So just getting capsaicin oil in the air, on your fucking fingers, in your fucking anywhere in your fucking
eyeballs.
orifice, it's gonna sting because it's just like peppered air or whatever the fuck it is. It's like an oil that's made to stick to stuff to make
I've
it
been around
sting.
pepper spray before.
Oh yeah, it sucks. Like you can spray it in front of you and you can
Scary.
fucking taste it, you can feel it.
It's not fun.
So imagine all that. Imagine if you pepper sprayed yourself in the mouth. Like if you just opened your fucking mouth and just, you know what I'm saying?
Just a quick
Yeah.
spray.
Yes. Like so it's like it foamed up and then it got really dry because it absorbed all the moisture in my mouth. So then after I tried to swallow it, which was impossible because it's just powder now. Like it's literally just hot powder.
For real.
And the oil is now coated the inside of everything, my lips, my teeth, all that shit. So when I went to go tell that joke, I was choking through trying to breathe because now it's on the way down. It's burning everything. So it's like I can feel the pepper spray all the way down to my fucking stomach. So it didn't even reach my stomach just yet when I'm like, oh, what's the deal with everyone?
That was the
And I
best.
started fucking, yeah. And this, so yeah,
was amazing.
I went downstairs, tried to drink a smoothie, didn't work. And after the crying and the, and the milkshake arrived, and all
Drowning
that,
yourself in the
yeah.
sink.
After I went home, it was just it's a warning label. I don't know if you still have the box, but the warning label on the box says that you will get hit in the gut really hard afterwards. They say that if you survive the heat, be prepared for your fucking stomach to turn upside down. It's written on the box, right? So like for like an hour later, I was just like. I literally, it hurts so bad.
That's hot.
Fucking like to move, to breathe. Like I don't know if like this is what period cramps is supposed to feel like, but like it was awful. It felt like there was 1,000 needles stabbing me in every part of my inside of my stomach, and then I melted my toilet later. So yeah.
He actually did it yesterday.
Yeah, I
but
did
check.
that shit yesterday.
Oh man, that was
Worst decision of my life,
right,
man.
Oh, you ate it yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah. So let's hear your experience. Because mine's on the internet. That shit sucks.
Dude.
He did it in front of his youth group.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So what happened? How
You see, I
yeah.
bitched out and had chocolate milk, swishing it in my mouth and spitting it right out.
Like you had it ready? You had
Yes,
it
I was ready.
I
I heard
not
your
prepared.
experience last week. I was like,
Feel
fuck
like I
that.
gotta get
Oh, it
prepared.
was awful, dude. It was awful. Like, if you get on the video, you can see like there are parts of it where the only reason my leg was shaking is because somehow
You know, the
water,
only reason.
somehow the water was making it worse. Like, I was trying.
Both you and Tyler, like it was funny because I walked up here and got him on video. And his leg was shaking too. I was like, man, it's intense when that's happening.
Oh, it hurts so bad. It hurts so bad.
Yeah.
That's the last thing I do for clout. I'm lying, but it's
All right, so I only was hearing bits and pieces of this conversation,
Oh, God.
right?
yeah.
We're talking about his experience with the chip.
The only so I didn't have that context.
All right.
Did not have that context. The only context I had was I was ready for it. It was in my mouth, and then I swished Spin it. And then you started talking about your legs shaking.
Hey man, what happens after the pod stays off
But
off
you
the
missed the
pod?
consent. Right? You
I'm
missed
like-
the
That's true.
consensual.
I withdrew consent in the middle of my experience. That's what I was talking about.
I was like, oh my Lord. I was like I leave for.
The Lord was not involved in that decision.
leave
I want you to know that.
That's what I'm saying. I leave for like 45 seconds and we end up in hell. We are so
Where my
far
mouth
off
was.
track.
No. It was just so again, this is
Was it milk?
it was actually with,
Come on, man.
but this is another one of
Did
those
you do
things
the one chip challenge?
that-
Yes, sir.
Yesterday, yeah, of his youth group.
This is one of those things that as a content creator we kind of have to subject ourselves to because we are attention whores. So please give me compliments. But
Validation.
please validate me, people on the internet who I never meet. But
It's the daddy issues, isn't it?
see, that's the weird thing, right? Because like
My dad?
Because yes, my dad. But
Daddy?
my girlfriend actually is the one who happens to dislike the use of word daddy, which is weird because I'm the one who's using it.
Adam
I have a lot of sounds over here.
got happy trigger finger now.
I have to show restraint a lot of times.
But yes, daddy's a weird one for me because I'm the one that normally uses it in the bedroom whenever it comes to me and my girlfriend specifically. But that's mainly because just like my dad, she prefers I get a real job. Said she handles me financially just like my dad, and makes sure and motivates me to just get off my ass and do stuff. You know what I'm saying? Also can't take a joke just like my dad. So if you think about it, daddy.
Great fatherly figure.
Look, I mean, my girlfriend's the best father figure I've ever had. That's shit. Her baby dad thought she was so good at it, he gave her both jobs. Which is why I showed up.
Dude, I cannot wait to be on the pod with you and two other comedians. That is going to be rambunctious.
That's gonna be awesome.
That
Yeah,
is
that's
an
gonna be
awesome
great.
show.
Oh yes.
Tune in for that episode.
Speaking of which, so it's about 8:00 at this point in time. So I don't know if you guys have anything else to do for the rest of your evening, but we would like to. We're gonna wrap this up here real quick, so we'll ask you some final questions. If you had a message for, I guess, just anybody out there who might happen to be a little bit lost on what they might want to do, what are some suggestive words or some just words of wisdom that you got for somebody who actually maybe has finally found his wave? And the only reason I'm asking also is because for those of you who don't know, if you're subscribed to this guy on his social medias, is nothing but like Aldous Huxley quotes and a whole bunch of philosophy stuff. So it's just like, as a deep and critical thinker who also does drywall, what do you have as a message for the youth out there today?
For the youths.
Damn, that's deep.
That's what I do.
Well, if you're looking to just do something, it could be something as simple as getting a dump trailer and just letting people borrow it and rent it out. It's really easy to just find a way and start anywhere.
Plus, you don't gotta,
Everybody needs everything.
and you don't gotta figure everything out right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have all the time in the world.
Yeah, life's
But this is right now. This is where you need to start figuring it out. You have all the time, but if you get a base right now in your 20s, 18, 19, this is the time to where if you set shit up later on in life when you're our age, it's not going to be so bad.
Yeah, and just don't make life so complicated. It's a simple game. Everybody knows how to play it, but everybody's a fucking dick about it for no reason.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Amen.
Yeah. Nobody has any idea what they're doing.
For sure.
And,
Not at
like,
One of the best quotes I've ever heard was from Aldous Huxley, and he said that out of 40-some years, he finds it a shame that the only real words of advice he has for anybody is to be a little kinder.
That's powerful. That's what's up with it. Well, I really appreciate you stopping by. For real. If you want to give yourself a little outro, ma'am.
Some words of advice.
Yeah. Just some words of advice for the youth.
For the youths.
Do you?
For the youth.
Well, I'm a single mom, so it's already hard. But I would say that when life throws you punches, just handle them correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to bob and weave out here.
Yep.
true.
Big Chuck.
Yo.
for the youth, Mr. Youth Group Leader, what do you have to say for the children's?
Basically, just keep your head up. Don't think that your life is over just because something bad happened to you like 5 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Let some time pass.
For sure.
Yes, sir.
Do what you can with do what you can with what's in your power, and let let the rest come as it might. Fuck, I'm stumped.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, it's all you.
I
Hey,
guess
Rob, what's your advice?
Me, let's see. Oh man.
I was gonna say we're putting the guests through it. We're putting. us
Yeah, I
through
was
it.
like, hey, I need. Let's see. You only got one life.
Unless you're a cat.
Hold on. Wait.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Unless
Hey,
you're
wait.
a pussy.
In the words of Joe Dierte, life's a garden. Take it.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Jan, you?
Do the kids even know who Joe Dierte is these days?
I don't think
Joe
so.
Dirt.
The kids didn't even know who Aaron Carter was when I told them they died the other day.
Oh,
It was
my
awful.
God.
What?
Yeah.
Aaron Carter
Makes me
died?
feel
Yeah.
old. Well, I'm 32. So
Apparently, I'm not a kid.
old, but
If I had to give a piece of advice, I would say, be careful of whose advice you take.
Mhm.
If they're not in the position you want to be in, don't take their advice.
For me, it's a bit of a two-tiered one. I, as a comedian, have chosen to do so because I realize that life is a joke. That is a joke being played on human beings. Because the only guarantee we have in life is that we won't survive. But the only instinct that we have as a human being is to survive. So just know that things are always going to get better. You just got to survive until then.
Got him.
You can find us on All Circles Media. You can find us on allcirclesmedia.com. Please come meet the team. We got a tour in the works. Please come meet all the artists. We've got a lot of shows. If you'd like to book anything with us, please allcirclesmedia.com.
Hit
Look
us
it
up,
up. A Robb on all his socials. We got Jan of the Apex. Look this guy up on LinkedIn. He's got some very good advice for you if you really want to get some business done. And as for me, you can catch me every other Sunday at Crackpots in Maslin. You can find me on my socials. I hate the Gram 23. They're gonna pay me to say that one day. And my government name on Facebook. Anybody else got
Alright.
anything?
well, I guess we're done.
No, all right, this-
Legally.
All right, goodbye.
Thank you guys for being here.
Goodbye. Have a beautiful time.